Good morning, boaters. Well, it's afternoon now, and boating enthusiasts and motor enthusiasts for watching my channel. I thank you. Don't forget my used outboard motor buying guides for sale on Amazon right now for $20. If you send me proof of purchase to keith@outboarddad.com, I'm still offering for a limited time. It's getting busy, all these calls, but I'm having a lot of fun helping people. But I'm still offering for a limited time a $250 value, a free half-hour session on the phone to help you with a motor that you're working on, or a motor you're looking to buy, or maybe a boat you're looking to buy. If you purchase my guide and send me that proof of purchase to my email at keith@outboarddad.com. Today it's a rainy, crummy day out here, right? People couldn't get out on their boats, but you can spend some time working on your boat, whether it's doing the maintenance or doing some checks to make sure it's okay. So we took in this 90 horsepower in trade, and we were told the motor was no good. So, just like in my used outboard motor buying guide, I did a compression check. Over here, I had 125 on the top and 130 on the bottom. While I was testing, checked all my spark. Everything has a nice hot spark. Now we're going to pull this head off, because when I did this one, it was 75, and this one was like 70, something like that. So all the head bolts came loose right away. I don't see a lot of corrosion here. I did unplug the temperature sensor. So when I pull this head off the rest of the way, we'll be able to, pull it and disconnect it completely. So we'll get the rest of these bolts out of here, and let's see what it looks like inside and how bad this motor is. Remember, we have our 4-stroke here that we're going to compare as well. So side by side, if this needs a rebuild, I know the 4-stroke has an issue because it had milky oil. So we're doing that side by side now, finally getting to it, because I finally got the key from Parts View, so that we can crank this one over next and do a compression check on this. So let's get this head off of here and see what it looks like inside. So the coils are mounted to the head, so we got them off first. Give it a little shock. Okay, so it looks like both of them spit a ring, as I have little bits eating away at here. Head gasket looks pretty good. Doesn't look like there's anything bleeding past or anything. But I don't see a lot of oil in here. It seems kind of dry. Also, these two spark plugs were black and really sooty too. So it's possible that that's what happened. Let's look a little closer at these cylinders. Let's see what this looks like. Actually, it doesn't look too badly scored. I have some scoring, but up at the top here I have some oh yeah, I got a chunk right here. I may not be able to get that out. I'm going to have to run the hone through this and see what it looks like when we get it apart. I'm seeing some salt deposits inside the motor here. Right, you can see them here. So I'm wondering if it didn't really get flushed well last couple times. So you can see that salt deposits coming out. See if it's... No, I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I see a bunch of those in there. Again, not severe, and I also don't see a lot of corrosion on this engine. Right? Typically this is pitted pretty badly around here, but doesn't look too bad. So maybe the first few years of its life it was flushed well, and maybe just recently it wasn't. The old owner was assuming he had a VRO failure. So this cylinder is definitely scored up. But I do have another hot spot up here. So we're going to have to get this off of here. And yeah, it's scored up around our exhaust ports pretty badly. You can see that even in the picture here. The next steps is we're going to kind of take the rest of the parts off of this motor. We'll pull the carbs off. We'll pull the flywheel off. We know we have good spark. So that's good. Hopefully all of our electronics are okay. And then we'll get this bottom cowling off, and we will see if we can get the block off of the midsection. So that'll be the next tricky part. These head bolts came out right away without any problem. So I'm hoping those other bolts won't break. I do have another engine block from an 88 Special that's over here as well that I was told was rebuilt. It had good compression. I think it was 125 all the way around. So we could just do a block swap as well. I picked that one up for, I think, $150, that complete motor. And I think I stole some parts for the motor that we sold to this gentleman. I think it was some shift linkage that was needed. There was a couple other parts. Oh, the carburetor bowls, because the other ones were warped. We were able to clean the bowl carburetors off of that one. So I probably got some of my monies back already just in selling that other motor, having some parts. It did not have power tilt and trim, so I didn't have that to sell. The lower unit had water in it, so I could rebuild it, but by the time you do that, it'd probably not make it. So that one was probably not the greatest other than that engine block. So if that engine block can go on here and we can swap all these parts, this could be a home run. So that's what we're going to do next. In our next episode, we're going to go ahead and we're going to continue on removing all the parts off of this. And also, let's get this cowling off first. I think it'd be a good idea. Let's take this cowling off and start loosening bolts and see how it goes. We'll start there. Also want to inspect the thermostats down here to see if they were ever changed. Maybe it just overheated because the thermostat stayed closed. Get these last two bolts out, and then we'll see if those engine bolts that hold the power head on the midsection can loosen up. Okay, kind of the moment of truth if we start breaking bolts. Oh, that's easy. That's easy. That's easy. Looks clean under here too. That one came out. The last one. All right, it's a home run. So now we know we can get the block off, or we're 99% sure. There's a couple underneath here, nuts with studs, but those almost always come off, and then there's a couple in the front as well. So we're going to get, in the next episode, we're going to get this undressed the rest of the way. So mature audiences only, that we'll get all the parts off of this. Actually, we'll probably just get the carbs off and some of the electronic stuff because I need the flywheel to put my eye on there to pull the block off. So we'll start stripping this down in our next episode and get it completely apart. Then what we got to do is break down. We need to look at the crankshaft. Did any of these little bits of metal get in and damage the crankshaft or the connecting rods? Let's take a quick look. We can only see so much, but what I can do is I can kind of rotate this now while I'm holding my piston and see, is there any play in that wrist pin or connecting rod, right? And there doesn't appear to be. It appears to be pretty solid. So we're hoping that the crank and everything is okay, but we won't know. Of course, then we have to start boring some of this before we buy any parts. We have to start boring a little bit of this to see how much oversize we can go. I don't see any numbers right now on these pistons. I'm hoping it's standard bore, that we can go oversized, maybe 20 thousandths. And we'll also still have to double check this side. Even though it had good compression, we're definitely have to hone it, and we'll definitely put new rings in this side. And hopefully we'll be able to rebuild this and get this back out on the water. So please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have. What do you think? Do you think this 4-stroke is going to be so much more work? Well, I know it's going to be so much more work. But we're going to start with a compression test. We're going to start with the basics. This was locked up a little bit, so I was able to get it to move, sprayed up the camshaft and everything, put this cover back on. Now we just got to hook up our battery to this one, crank it over, and that'll be the next test. So let me know your thoughts, 4-stroke, 2-stroke rebuilds. This is a 2006. This is probably a 1993. So now this is 13 years younger. Will this go ahead and get on the water for less money and run longer than the cost and longevity we will get out of this? Let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day.